How have customer expectations changed in recent years, and what has the impact been on CRM practices? Phil, would you like to start on?
I think, to be honest with you, I don't think it's changed that much over the last 15 years that I've been doing this. I think there's always been an expectation that any content that you receive, any offers or discounts, any editorial that you receive in CRM is always the right CRM for the right content for you. I think how it has changed is that there's much more of an expectation that it is much more personalised. And it is also much more of value. I think people are much more aware, especially younger audiences, that they're giving their data and there is an exchange, giving the permission and remaining subscribed. That's, they know that there's an exchange there, and they will withdraw that permission if you don't continue to make good on that exchange.
I think I agree. There's increasing expectation from customers, and I think when it comes to getting on personalisation, I think also there's potentially a risk of over personalising, because people are aware of how much data they're sharing, and I think if you over personalise it can be scary, particularly using any third party data. But I think also there's an expectation that things are truly omnichannel now, that people should be recognised regardless of which channel they're operating. The information should be the same, and it should be much easier to self-serve.
Yeah, I think these guys have all said it. There is a demand, there's an expectation from consumers that every interaction with the brand is perfect, that we fully understand their interests, their needs, their transaction history, their comms preferences. They want to be able to change immediately from this screen to that screen, see the same message, change channel, tell us which channels to use, almost expect us to understand that by implication of their behaviour without them always telling us absolutely overtly. People certainly understand the value of the data exchange, as Phil has alluded to, and will quite clearly walk if a brand doesn't use that with proper respect. I think since GDPR was a thing that impinged on the national consciousness and the implementation of the Data Protection Act 2018, people realised that actually there are some controls there to protect them, and they expect to be able to interact with a preference centre, a privacy consent centre. I think it's probably appropriate that that language has dropped back somewhat. We don't need all our consumers thinking about all of that tech all of the time.
When I was at the BBC, we had to get around this in a slightly different way, in that there was an expectation of one-to-one recommendations for iPad or BBC South. But then it was also, the way we kind of got around it is we had to meet that expectation, but we also had a big job to do to educate and to inform and to get people to consume content that they might otherwise consume. So the way that we built it at the BBC was there were 3 layers. So there was a one-to-one recommendation. We know you love this content, this is for you. There was a second layer, which was serendipity. So you might have like science programs, here's some natural history. And the third layer was the marketing. This is the big thing we need to talk about. Seasonal programs about disability, which you've probably shown no indication for your interactions or listens or views before. And that's the way we kind of got around it. And I think it's something that we face also at the Jockey Club, that we know that you visited one particular one of our venues. We might want you to go to another one of our venues. So it's that kind of getting that balance right between us as a business wanting to be able to put more in front of people that might not be relevant, but also knowing when to put content in front of people when it's relevant. So I think it's a business decision sometimes. You can't always manage that customer expectation to be spot on every time.